The terrorists have taken control of the cockpit. 8:58, the plane turned towards New York. 9:03, reach flight 77. From Washington, D.C. Go to Los Angeles. 8:46, the plane climbed to 10,000 meters scheduled. Cruising altitude. 8:51, the plane made its last communication with the ground. 8:50, for the plane suddenly veered off course. The transponder is also turned off. Each line tries to contact, but no response. At 9 o'clock, after the executive vice president of each line was informed of the situation, decisive order: fly all flight in the back of the plane. 9:29, autopilot is disarmed. The plane began to approach Washington from 38 miles away. 9:30, for the plane made a 330-degree turn. The flight altitude dropped sharply to 6. Leader of Flight 93. It's a temporary replacement pilot, Etched. He and 3 others. The terrorists are sitting in different positions. He sat in first class for easy access to the cockpit. 8:40, to United Airlines Flight 93 takes off from New Jersey. Flight to San Francisco. The flight has been delayed by more than 25 minutes. After boarding the plane, Jair's heart is full of waves. The terrorists on the other 3 planes were all missing. Hijacked the plane in 30 minutes. But Jair didn't get into action until the 42nd minute. During this period, his companion came to inquire many times. Why don't you do it? According to the analysis, Yara may have poor psychological quality, causing a delay in action. A delay finally allowed the passengers on the plane to board. Guest by phone with family. Know your destiny. Finally decided to fight back. 9:23, mobilized the camera team to issue a warning. 2 planes have crashed into the World Trade Center. 9:28, the pickup starts to act. The plane suddenly dropped more than 200 meters. Tower Street SOS, and heard the sound of fighting in the plane. "9:30, to the pickup is disguised as the captain. Broadcast to passengers that there is a bomb on board. It is for passengers. Play my Who I Am. I got the beat in the dark." Then the plane turned around and flew to Washington. Their target is the Capitol building. Then some passengers spoke by phone, learning that New York was attacked. Be aware of your situation. 9:57, the passengers retaliated. 9:59, recorded fights and bangs. A passenger yelled and rushed into the cockpit. Otherwise, we're all doomed. People aware of economy and political security have taken a serious hit. When the first attack took place, U.S. President George W. Bush at an elementary school in Florida. As planned, he's going to have a spelling lesson with the pupils. Just before he walked into the classroom, someone told him a plane crashed into the World Trade Center in New York. George W. Bush thought it was just an accident caused by pilot error. George Bush just sat down in the classroom, watching elementary school students read words aloud. A wood therapist came over, who whispered in his ear. The second plane crashed into the World Trade Center. America is under attack. After hearing the news while walking, his face is all capitalized. News media cameras at the back of the classroom. The machine recorded this moment. In an interview 10 years later, footsteps while recalling, as president, he can't show panic in front of the crowd. So he fought back his shock. I waited a few minutes before I got up and left the class. And Bush goes into another classroom. Watch the attack on the World Trade Center live. At this moment, he realized that the country was under attack. The president's security team, the National Emergency Plan, was quickly activated. And doomsday plans. Enter advanced combat readiness. George W. Bush was escorted by SAT personnel, board Air Force One, prepared to evacuate Air Force One after liftoff, fly directly in the other direction, and refused to reveal his destination. Obviously, America is under an unprecedented attack. Nobody knows, except for the 2 planes that crashed into the World Trade Center. Did these bad guys hijack a 3rd plane, 4th, or even more planes? On Air Force One, the Special Assault Bureau received a mysterious phone call. The other party claims Air Force One will be the next target. And then there's Air Force One, and the president goes to Louis, Indiana, and Nebraska Air Forces. Base dodges attack. During the period of U.S. defense, Department and White House executives withdraw to the designated secret cover. 12 noon sharp, George W. Bush issued a brief statement. Say, terrorist attacks on American soil cannot be tolerated. American people to join me. And saying thanks. Fighting hard to rescue our fellow citizens. And to join me in saying a prayer for the victims and your families. He then set up a card in Chang'e, decided to fly back to Washington, and emphasize me, you cannot speak outside of Washington, otherwise it would be difficult for terrorists. Would be a spiritual victory. That night, from time to time in the Oval Office, a televised address to the nation promised to respond forcefully to terrorists. Our country is strong. A great people has been moved to defend a great nation. Terrorist attacks can shape the foundations of our biggest buildings, but they cannot touch the foundation of America. And he called a national security conference, then meet with the senior advisor. Final identification of Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda were behind the attack. At the same time, the White House has started studying items of war. Matters September 14th, George W. Bush personally attached to New York. Come to the ruins of the Time Trade Center. Here he promises everyone, those who planned this attack, will hear our memories soon. Is unbended Nate. And prayer for the people whose lives are lost here. I can hear you the rest of the world. Here's you, and the people. For Americans, a counterattack is inevitable and just under the strength of a small department. When he vowed to capture bin Laden, this Al-Qaeda leader is actually hiding in Afghanistan, protected by the Taliban regime.